welcome to the Voices of Madison Park, the podcast, the voices that shape our community. We're amplifying the stories of students, staff, alumni, and leaders who make Madison Park Technovocational High School strong. This is where our voices are heard, our excellence is celebrated, and our community shines. My name is Brandy Cruthird, and I'm the Director of Strategic Engagement and Communications at Madison Park Technovocational High School, and it's an honor to be here. That's right, I'd like to give a shout out right now to our media production and entertainment program, who's actually producing this show. And then I'm going to slide it right over here to my left, and I'm going to introduce our amazing, and I mean amazing, because, you know, that's what school is all about, Daniellys Martin, who is my co-host, and I'm going to call her Danny, and she'll be with me. She's right now a 12th grader at Madison Park Vocational High School and in our cosmetology program. So, Daniellys, take it over and tell them more about our podcast.
Hey, Ms. Cruthird, how are you today?
Listen, I'm feeling phenomenal.
That's good. Well, this podcast, we're basically going to get into a couple things, ask a couple questions, and basically that's what we're doing today.
Is that what we're doing? Daniellys, why do you think Madison Park Technovocational High School is a great school, and why we have this podcast today so we can talk more about some of the things that are going on? Because you're a 12th grader here, so you've already been here for 4 years, going on your 4th year. Tell us a little bit about that before we bring on our guest.
Well, we just want to show the watchers and the viewers more about the school and what we basically represent. And this school it's a really good school. It's the only vocational school around, and I feel like you can get a lot of benefits from this moving forward in the future as well.
Well, I'm really excited, and to have Daniellys here right next to me is really important, and I'm going to tell you why. Again, I'm the Director of Strategic Engagement and Communications at Madison Park Vocational High School, but my journey has been different. Her journey is one of the trifecta, and this is one of the things that makes Madison Park Vocational High School unique. You can graduate from here with a high school diploma, a certification in industry, or you can get an associate's degree. That's right. We are the school of the trifecta. And why is today so special? Because to my right, I have our amazing, and I do mean amazing, Madison Park Vocational High School, our manager of what we call admissions at the school. That's right. In order to get in Madison Park Vocational High School, you have to meet with Mr. Stewart. So I'd like to give Mr. Stewart a round of applause as he's on the Voices of Madison Park. Mr. Stewart, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Ms. Cruthird. Thank you all for having me. And the Voice of Madison, greatly appreciate it. As Ms. Cruthird said, I do the admissions and recruitment for Madison Park Technical Vocational High School, which is a pleasure. Going around the city and actually meeting with families and meeting with students and connecting with the people in the community.
What makes Madison Park Vocational High School a school that you're able to go out in the community and talk to young people about coming here? What makes the school so unique?
First and foremost, Madison Park Technical Vocational High School is the only vocational high school within the city of Boston, right? So when you're talking about accessibility, when you're talking about career focus, when you're talking about opportunities for people of color and people in the community of Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, and Rosendale, and West Roxbury, we're talking about limitless opportunities: electricity, plumbing, carpentry. Let's talk about cosmetology, right? Students actually graduate with their cosmetology license after doing their 1,000 hours, right? Many adults may say, hey, I wish I went to Madison Park to finish high school and go straight into the trades. I went to Boston Public Schools myself. I went to Brighton High. But if I had to do it all over again, don't take anything from my high school experience, I would like to graduate with a trade. That would be tremendous. So I think students in the 8th grade and 7th grade knowing about Madison Park is a huge thing right now in our community, especially being a blue collar worker right now. The industry needs it.
Well, you know something, what's amazing about this podcast today, I'm honored to stand between two worlds. One, having the admissions manager right here next to me so he can talk about how to get into the school, and two, having Daniellys here. Daniellys, you heard Mr. Stewart talk about Madison Park Vocational High School and the opportunities here. Could you tell us a little bit about your cosmetology experience? Why did you choose cosmetology?
Well, I chose cosmetology because I've been interested in that field since I was, well, longer than I can remember, really. And since I've been in there, it really showed me a lot of new skills that I may not have known, new information that I never knew before, and I got to meet so much new people and make friends. And it brightens up your day being able to do something that you love every day, and you can just get better at it. And once you graduate, it's like you're already done, and you already finished everything, and everything just looks nice. So it just makes you feel good.
Now, Mr. Stewart, it's amazing. Here, you're seeing someone on the end now getting ready to graduate, but you're the person that goes out, recruits the kids. Tell me about that experience. Me coming in, I'm a young kid. I'm in the 8th grade. Tell me a little bit about what that experience would look like, how you would help shape some of my exposure to these great opportunities at MP.
Absolutely. I think the first step is coming for a tour, right? I think exposing students to the school environment is crucial, right? And letting students know that we're not a comprehensive high school. We are a vocational school. So pretty much, we have 1 week on and 1 week off. Students are able to go to class and do the academic week, 1 week, and then the second week, they're straightly in their vocational programs learning hands-on, right? So giving the students the perspective like, hey, you're not in this bulb. Right, when you go to a different school, you just do math, English, and science and a language, and you go home. But at Madison Park, you're able to explore all these different options. Coming in as a freshman, you're able to go on exploratory. You try all 21 programs, and you go through all 21 programs, experiencing everything. Even for the young men, I say, hey, you're going to be in cosmetology. You may not like it, right? But the fact is that you can get those points to get into electricity, right? Because we're on a point system, so students are able to pick those shops. As Danny, she's in cosmetology, right? So you have to think about it. It's only 17 to 16 seats in that vocational program. So it's huge for her being in that program because not many students get selected for a program. And I just want to let students know, like, hey, like, this is the honest truth about the world and at Madison Park. You may come for electricity, but if you don't do what you need to do and put in the work, you won't get electricity, you won't get media arts, you won't get cosmetology. It's a working base. What you put in is what you get out at Madison Park.
Now, Daniellys, because I get that opportunity to play back and forth. Here we have Mr. Shakeen. Tell us about your freshman experience so we can connect both worlds.
My freshman experience, I wasn't really knowing what I was expecting. Like, I wasn't ready. And I basically just got, like, it just imagined, like, everything was just like, poof. You're already experimenting in so much things. So I was learning how to cook. I was learning how to do graphic design. I was learning so much new things. So it was just so, like, and not overwhelming, but it was just, making me feel like, oh, wow, I can see what I like. And it just makes, it's just a really good thing. So after, I think, I went to culinary because I wasn't culinary before, and I left because I really wasn't like doing the right thing. Let me be honest. So I went to Cosmo, and I just did so much better there. But the vocationals is really good. They teach you a lot. The teachers are really good with the students. They help you navigate through the field, and it's really nice. I like it.
So, Mr. Stewart, you heard that the kids go through the exploratory, which was what you talked about. So kids come in, they apply. How do they apply, though? What is that process?
Absolutely. The first step for students in the 8th grade or coming within the city of Boston is ranking Madison on the high school choice form. The high school choice form is the first step of any student, looking to come to Madison Park. And then the second step is applying directly to Madison Park. A lot of people, older people that grew up in the city of Boston, you just had to pick Madison Park. You didn't have to apply. So applying to Madison Park is completely new to the whole city, right? But it's through the state. So the state says, hey, you need to do this, and this is why we're doing it, and students are applying directly. And we're seeing success in it, right? I think before people didn't think there was going to be success of students applying to Madison Park, but we have a lot of success with students actually applying to Madison Park and ranking Madison Park. Since I've been here, this is going on to my 3rd year, we have seen many applications, right? So it's a huge success on our end.
And where do they go to apply?
So they go to Madison Park Technical Vocational High School on Google. Then they go to our page. After they go to our page, they go to admissions. You'll click admissions, then you'll click apply. When you click apply, it gives you a whole step-by-step booklet to apply to Madison Park and how to rank us on the high school choice form.
Daniellys, you talked about your exploratory experience going through the vocational programs and then finding the one that best fits you. But could you tell us about this thing Mr. Stewart talked about, A week, B week, meaning that once you decide what program you're going to be in your freshman year, then you choose it, and then there's A week is your academics, and then B week is your vocation. What kind of experience is that? What does that look like?
And to me, I think it's better than being in a full academic school all day, every day. Because it gets you, like, it switches it up. One week you're doing academics, you might not want to go back to doing that the next week, so you go doing what you like. So it's like, it's a nice balance to it.
Okay, so you're saying to me that one week you're doing academics, and then the next week you're doing vocation. Well, in a typical traditional high school, that's not the experience. So how do you feel being able to have that versatility and not having that redundance of being in academics all the time?
It feels, I don't know how to, it feels nice. Like, it just feels very free, and it feels like I can make my own, like, I can make my own, like, routine, like, in my own way, you know?
Okay.
So it really helps me in like mentally too, because it just, if you get it, you know.
Okay. And Mr. Stewart, you talk about the young people being able to come to Madison Park Technical Vocational High School. They got to apply to the school. Then they go through exploratory. Okay. What happens in their sophomore year? Because they're in here, you done recruited them and got them in the door. Tell us a little bit more about the overall experience of Madison Park Technical Vocational High School.
Absolutely. Sophomore year is a game changer, right? So you're not new to the school, so you're able to navigate through the building better and more freely, but also gives you more opportunity. So when you get to your sophomore year, these are the times that students are accumulate their hours to go either on co-op to get a paid internship, or towards their license, right? So when students actually come in their sophomore years, it's more vigorous. Like, you're getting in depth into your practice and in your trade and in your skill. So when you get to your sophomore year, it's that transition of like, okay, like, this is my shop. Like, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to ride it out and making sure that I'm able to go through. As Danny said, like, she started off in culinary arts. Now she's in cosmetology. Cosmetology's her domain, right? So she's accumulated those hours to sit for her exam. She's a licensed beautician, right? Rather than graduate in high school, go to cosmetology school and pay $27,000, it's a waste of time. But for her, she already finished it during high school. So is letting students know that sophomore year is like, hey, you are actually killing time by doing everything now, so when you graduate, you have all the skills and tools to be successful in life.
There was something that you said. You talked about this thing called co-op. And then I've also heard people talk about, that trifecta that I talked about earlier, meaning that they potentially could get their associate's degree. Could you tell us a little bit about the co-op program, as well as a young person being able to go into early college and earn credits and graduate with an associate's degree? I mean, it sounds like that's Madison Park Vocational High School. Sounds like it helps you save a lot of money as a parent.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get back to what you said, the trifecta, right? The trifecta, a high school diploma, a trade certificate or a license before you graduate, and an associate's degree, right? The associate's degree is optional, right? We're able to have our students go to Bunker Hill, our Rocks Math program, so students are able to take college courses to figure out if college is even for them, right? We live in a generation that people focus on go to college, right? For our students here at Madison Park, they have the opportunity to figure out, hey, at one time in high school, I'm not going to say it's a lot for a high school student, right? Madison Park Technical Vocational High School is not for a typical student. I'm just going to put that out there because it's a lot of work. Just imagine taking college courses, imagine being on co-op, imagine ready to get to graduate. You have to take your OSHA 10, you have to take all your certifications, right? You're doing all this at the age of 14 to 17 or 18, right? So it's a huge load. And let's not talk about like students also being student athletes. So students are playing basketball, playing volleyball. Like, our students are doing a lot.
So you're saying that Madison Park Technical Vocational High School has a full sports program?
Full sports program,
Wow.
everything. So students are able to do what they want and what they like when they come to Madison Park, right? We don't have limits. Rather than going to a comprehensive high school, you're limited to these things, right? We allow all our sophomores, if you have the GPA and the grades, you're able to go to RoxMap. You're able to take college courses. We have some students that are never in the building. People said, how is that possible? They're taking courses at Bunker Hill. They're going to co-op, right? So they work a full week and they report back to our co-op director, and they all the advisor for RoxMap. So we have students that most likely their senior year, they may not be in the building at all.
So I have a quick question, guys. I was getting excited. So you're saying during that academic week, which is that A week we talked about,
Yeah.
the young people are able to go out to Bunker Hill and earn college credit. And then on B week, which is, what
Vocational.
Daniellys was talking about, now they're in their vocation. Oh my God, that's a phenomenal experience a young person can have. But you also talked about this thing called co-op. I'm young. Everyone wants money.
Yeah.
They say that a technical vocational high school education gives you an early doors, open up all kind of opportunities for young people to earn money. How can they do that in high school here?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I think this is the only high school that could do that in the city of Boston, right?
Wow.
And I'm going to break it down. So, as we know as adults, experience trumps a lot of things, even education sometimes, right? So, we're just going to be very honest about that. So, at this point, students are able to, their sophomore year, they're able to get all their license or certificates they need. By junior year, they're able to go on co-op. So, we have our co-op partners with Northeastern University. We have it with Local 103, Local 12, the plumbing union, right? So students are actually having hands-on experience and getting paid, right? We're not talking regular wage, but they'll get paid probably $17 to $20 an hour, depending on what they're doing in their field in high school. So they have that co-op their junior year, and then go to their senior. So when they graduate, they already have their experience before they graduate.
Wow. I'm telling you, this sounds really amazing. Again, tell us how a kid can get into the school and what are the things that they need to do.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, students need to rank us on the high school choice form, which you can find that at any welcome center within the city of Boston. Second, go on Google, type in Madison Park Technical Vocational High School, and then it'll give you the steps how to apply to Madison Park. You can set up a tour with myself. My email is on the website. And also, if you're not able to, you're able to watch a video to do the step-by-steps, so you're able to have an interview with me to come to Madison Park.
You're listening to the Voices of Madison Park, the podcast, the voices that shape our community on WBCALP, station 102.9 FM Boston. All right, now we're going to talk the second half of the Voices of Madison Park. And right next to me, on my right, I have our special guest, Mrs. Noel. She is the family liaison at Madison Park Technical Vocational High School. And don't forget about my co-host, our 12th grade student in our cosmetology program here at Madison Park, Daniellys. She's my co-host. Welcome, Miss Noel.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, I'm going to let our co-host right here ask some of the questions that we need.
So, Mr. Noel, what is your role?
Yeah, I'm the family liaison at Madison Park. So what I do is I really like to think of it as I'm an advocate for families, right? I'm here to make sure that if students have questions, I'm here to help support them, right? For a lot of our families, high school, the vocational program, like this is new and exciting, but it's new. So what's going on? What's happening here? What are these updates, right? We get emails. Some of our parents maybe don't speak the same language. So I'm here really just to connect families, answer their questions, help them know who they need to talk to, right? So who can answer those questions if they need to speak with someone regarding maybe IEPs or maybe if they need housing support. All those things is I can help answer those initial questions, put them in touch with the right people. Shakeen was here. If someone's asking, how do I apply? I saw this, I want to join, but what do? I can help, be like, here's this person, let me connect you. But when it comes to students who then are at Madison Park, I'm here to help make sure, right, anything that comes up, do you need clothes? Do you need food, housing? Like, I can help connect you with a person who does housing and our homeless liaison. I'm here really to just any resources our students may need, help to make sure that you can thrive in the school, but that you have what you need at home before you're coming to school too.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is that role really important at school? Why is the family liaison role really important?
Yeah, absolutely. School is amazing and we're here, but also our home lives, all the things we're experiencing outside of schools as families, as students, are important when they show up to that classroom, right? So if someone comes to school and they don't have the items that they need, it's going to be really hard to focus, to succeed, to learn. If you're having trouble getting to school, if you don't have food to eat, your stomach's rumbling, you may be embarrassed in class or something's happening, you're not focused, you don't have anything nourishing your body, right, so that you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all those things are important as holistic people, right? So it's important that our family liaisons are here to support our families, our students, so that they can succeed. Because really at Madison Park, every teacher, every department cares about our students. So it's really important that we have someone there who's helping bridge that and be that liaison between the families as well as the students and our school.
Okay. Well, why did you want to choose this role?
Yeah, I love that question. So I have a background in working with immigrants and families in Boston. So it's a different kind of job that I was doing before, but I worked at an immigration law firm doing operations. And with that firm, we used to do like Know Your Rights workshops. We were doing like clothing drives for our families. And as we really grew, I took on more operations, HR, learned a lot of skills, but I really missed connecting with the families. Truly missed that. I missed being able to just, be on the ground, be at community fairs, being able to like speak with families and what they're going through. My mom, my abuelita, like, we're immigrants from Mexico, right? Like, I understand the struggle of what it's like to be someone who's coming to a new place and trying to navigate that, right? And so for me, it's part of what I've experienced, what my mom experienced, what my abuelita experienced. Like, I want to be able to be connecting with those families, and I missed that. So I really was trying to find a way to have that opportunity to be more hands-on and being able to be like, you need something? Great. Let me grab that. Let me find that. Here you go. I want you to succeed.
That's great. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Thanks.
So what are some of the challenges you might face? Daily.
So, right, we have students, Madison Park is great. We have students coming from all over Boston, right? So our families also are in different parts of the city, right? So when it comes to, for example, like needing food, some of our families may be going through hard times. Someone's lost a job, someone's in the middle of a transition. They may be needing other resources. So I think part of that is figuring out, we have a food bank really close, just a few blocks from here, the ABCD down the street. But what if someone's in East Boston or someone's right like in Hyde Park? You might be really hard for you to get all the way here. So it's really trying to connect and find other places that we can get you those resources closer to your home, right? I want to make sure it's accessible for you. Also, like, sometimes our school days are over by 2:30, but it's also making sure I can be accessible to families who work nights, who work mornings, who don't get off till 8 p.m., and that's when they're answering those questions, right? So I think it's trying to make sure that I'm accessible to families. The other thing I will say, and is a plug, but a struggle that we have, is we want more parents involved, right?
Oh.
We have something called a school site council and a school parent council, and we need more parents involved. And that's part of the representation of our students, things that get voted on, updates that happen. We need more parents. So please, if anyone knows of parents, give them my number, connect them.
Now you just said something that's really critical, because being in the family liaison role, why is it important that parents be involved in their child's education? Why is that so important? And it's a twofold question, because one is, why is that important? And how do we help parents? Because maybe they're struggling to be involved. So why is that important first?
Yeah, I think, right, as all of us age, right, when we're like 2 years old, you're not getting to school, right? When you're 4, maybe you're starting pre-K, like, you need someone to drop you off. Like, the way parents interact with their education changes as students get older, right? Like, you're getting to school on your own most of the time. You're taking the bus, you're taking the train. Nobody's dropping you off, right? So it looks different. And with that, it's helping parents know how they can stay connected and engaged in their students' educational life cycle, right? So as you get older, your parents are like, okay, well, you go to class. Maybe you're doing stuff in your vocational program that I don't know about. So, like, how can I help you? But there are things that, right, it's like making sure you have what you need. Like, with your cosmetology program, maybe there's things where you're like, I need this and this. And your parents are like, oh, I don't know about that, right? Maybe whoever's in your family is like, I don't know how to support you. So it's making sure that they still know, like, I want to keep them informed. We want to make sure families, guardians, the people in your life who are supporting your education know, like, what's happening on campus, making sure that you have certain dates. Like, you have a lot of things. You're working on your 1,000 hours. You're trying to do a lot. So who's also there to be like, oh, hey, don't forget this date is the deadline for this. Or prom's coming up and there's this cool program that the family liaison said, like, we got to sign up by this date. Like, there are ways that people can still be supporting you and making sure that, like, you aren't also carrying all that load as students. And so I think that's important, is that we have to sometimes help people know what they can still do, how they can stay informed. And if you don't know, that's what I'm here for. I can help answer those questions.
And when a parent is informed, and I should say, not just informed, invested. We'll use that word.
Yep.
How does that child's future, does that give the child a better future? Does it allow the school to better connect with them, that they can both be partners?
Yep.
Because that's really important in the child's education experience. Tell us a little bit about that and what that means in a school, especially at Madison Park Vocational High School, where you have two pathways. You have that academic pathway and the vocation pathway, and then they both meet. Because, again, if you're taking math, you're learning some math in that program, but if you're doing carpentry, metal fabrication, and some of the other programs, you're bringing that math together. Same thing with cosmetology. She's over there and she's measuring things and putting them together. That math comes in place. But how do we really partner up with our parents?
Yeah. I think our parents, like you said, investment is a good word. It's not just staying in the loop, it's being invested, because the more that they know about their students' programs, the more that they know about what's available to them, can push our students to say, hey, you have this pathway, you can do this. Sometimes our students, right, have so much that they're trying to, like, I'm doing this, I'm taking these classes. Our parents being invested means they're going to help encourage them to dream bigger, right? Like, maybe you're thinking, cosmetology is great, I have these skills. Maybe it's a parent, a guardian, someone in your life who's going to be like, actually, you now have this. You know, you said you were also doing, like, the media arts your first year, you were learning all these things. They can be like, hey, you have the skills, don't forget you learned this and you knew that. You could start your own, get a chair somewhere. You could start your own thing here. Like, use those skills, and they're investing in what's coming next for you. Because you're right, not all of our students want to continue on to college. Some want to do that, and so it's pushing them, okay, what programs can we apply to? You have these skills, you've learned this. Like, it's being invested in seeing our students grow. Same like the school, the staff, the admin, is we want to see our students, right, take these programs, whether that's exactly the career path they're taking or they wanted those skills for what comes next. We want to see them have that and be able to, like, dream bigger. You know, just because we have this program that's sending you right somewhere, like, you can also dream to be the owner of that company. You can dream to be someone who has multiple businesses, but you knew the skills and the knowledge how to do that, right? So it's like, I think having people that are invested also makes you feel good. Makes you know, like, you're right, I can dream bigger. I want more. Like, get my bag, whatever it might be. Like, you know, like, there is more when we're invested in the students' education in those lives.
And walk me through, like, the day that you have when you go to work.
Yeah. So my days, I like it because it changes. Like you said, right? Like, you like that your vocational program's 1 week, school's a different week. Yeah. I like that my day looks different. Like, that works for me. So it depends, right? Like, there's a day where I'm going to ABCD maybe to meet with families, help them navigate that system, like meeting people, right? Like, we know sometimes accessing a service for the first time can be stressful. Sometimes maybe there could be shame, and there shouldn't be shame, right? Like, we're all going through something. We've all had experiences in our life. So sometimes it's just like stepping beside a family and really going to these physical spaces. And so, right, one day maybe I'm meeting with a family, helping them access those resources. Another day I'm meeting with a staff member on how can we partner. We're going to have a new food access program that's in the basement of Madison Park.
Wow.
Yeah, which is great. So it's maybe walking over with people, like, how can we do that? Finding students, meeting with, with its teachers to be like, can we get more students in this program involved? That might be a day where it looks like. Sometimes I'm making calls. Last night we had a community meeting. I was calling families to be like, did you know about this meeting? Have you got the link? No? I'm texting you right now. And the meeting was at 6 p.m. 5:50, I'm like, are you coming on? We're joining now. So, like, it really does kind of shift and change what I'm doing. And sometimes it's, right, a student, something happens. Maybe you, like, on the way to school, hopefully this never happens to you, but maybe like someone hit a pothole and got your pants wet and you're like, I don't want to walk the day like this. Like, we hope that never happens to you, but maybe you need something from the Katie's Closet, right? And if you don't know what the Katie's Closet is, it's here at Madison Park. It's in a lot of our schools, and it's a closet full of clothes, resources, things like that. Like, maybe you came to school and you're like, oh my gosh, I ran out of deodorant. We're not going to the store till next week. You need deodorant? Cool. Come find me. I have deodorant in my office, and I have deodorant in the Katie's Closet. Like, there are resources that are here at the school that I'm trying to give away too, right? Like, if you need something, that's here, and that's part of my days, like walking over to the Katie's Closet and like helping you get those things that you might need. Everything from like professional clothes, like someone's going to have an interview and you don't have professional clothes, maybe you're starting with your vocational program, someone has a co-op starting with the city of Boston, you need dress clothes, let's get you dress clothes. Like, those are what my day can look like, and it's different, but really, like, if you don't know, just ask me, we'll figure it out, we'll help you.
You know, one of the things that you're saying that's really important is to be able to support the total family. Being here at school, I know that we have a lot of resources, and some of the resources that we've built in the school are separated, and we're able to help some kids. Could you tell us a little bit more that are homeless, or maybe just experiencing, just the families experiencing hardship? How does that look coming in? How do we support them and bring back that feel good? Because our objective is to make sure that the young people graduate and get through school, but to also not abandon the family itself. Because if the family doesn't have the things they need, it does trickle down to the young people. Tell us a little bit about those resources and how you meet with them and can activate them for them.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So some of our basic needs are clothing, food, and housing, right? And we're really fortunate here at Madison Park to have a homeless liaison who can help families, you know, get referrals to shelters, to different things. And so I can help, right, like make that connection too and work with families. But often when you're experiencing one of those, some of that overlaps, right? So if you're having some housing insecurity, there's a chance, right, like maybe you don't have access to a fridge or to like a stove that's working in that moment. So like you also maybe need food. So sometimes that looks different. Someone's, right, like house had a fire. Like maybe then you're also trying to find housing and your clothing burned. Like there can be a lot of overlap in extreme situations and also like not extreme situations. Maybe you've just moved here and like life is looking a little different, right? So there can be a lot of overlap in what you need. So I can come in and say, right, like let's connect you with the food pantry. Let's find you with the food access program that's getting set up here. Like let's get you food each week. Maybe it's clothing, like we can go to the Katie's Closet and get you, right, like just some items you need. Maybe you need a whole new wardrobe. We can do that. We can work with that program to like do a special request and like get you everything you need, right? Like maybe someone just had a baby. We also have stuff for like babies from like infant to like older. We can help get you that stuff. So it's really just those little pieces of like, you make the ask and we're going to make sure that we find the resources that you need, because it can be as simple as like the basic living needs of clothing, of having access to food, lunches. I mean, we have a great program here. There's food accessible. We can like make sure that you have stuff to take with you, right? Like when there isn't food at school on the weekends, like we can make sure that those things are happening.
I feel like that's great, especially for like the community that we're in as well, because a lot of people with that status doesn't really get as much as help as others do. So I feel like that's a really good job.
Yeah, that's so true, right? Like,
no, you talked about, I'm sorry, you talked about helping them, as Daniellys said. How do we celebrate parents? What are some things that we do at that Madison Park Vocational Out does that celebrates parents? Like any activities or things that you're planning, or how do we celebrate them?
Yeah, I think that's what's really exciting. I love planning events. I think it's so fun. And I think there is that, like, having a chance to meet with families where there is that celebration, right? Where there is joy and different things happening. We have, of course, the parent conferences. We have the school site councils. And that's celebrating in a different way, maybe, that, like, our parents know stuff, right? And sometimes our parents have done a lot, maybe in their own language, and so sometimes they may not feel confident like how that translates to English and being in those spaces. But like, we do have to recognize that a lot of our immigrant parents, like, they have done some really cool things in their home countries, in their own languages, and like knowing they have that space to still show up, and we want them to be part of the conversation, right? So that's one more formal way of celebrating. But like, there are a lot of events that we can do here at the school, and we like want parents to also tell us what they want, because like we want to join community fairs and be at places where we can do giveaways, but we also want to plan like celebration events. You know, I've heard of this really cool one that we have, and I think we're trying to do again, was like we had a Shevu roller skating night. Like sometimes we just want to be in community having fun. We know it's because of school and that's why we're there together, but it doesn't always have to be like, let's sit here at this workshop and teach you things, because sometimes like we all need joy in our lives, and you know, like the world can feel heavy sometimes. Like let's just be together doing something fun.
Well, I mean, you've talked about so many great things that when parents come, and I know what we were talking to Mr. Stewart, who's our recruitment manager, and I always say / admissions, and we talked about parents coming in. How do you support freshmen coming in?
Yeah.
Because you're going to have these group of freshman parents, high school transition, you know, and you're helping the parents. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that, you know, you plan to do to better support our freshmen.
Yeah, so with, the school choice form and applications, recently, that deadline was coming up, so I was calling families just to say, hey, this is what that process looks like. You're interested, but maybe they didn't complete the application. So it's do you have questions? Do you know how to fill it out? Let's do that. But also offering them, do you want to come see the school? Do you want someone to help you with that? You know, some of the families who speak Spanish, or some of our immigrant families were I actually don't really know the school system very well. I've heard about Madison Park. It sounds great, but, I kind of need help, right? And so as much as or as little as a family wants, I'm willing to, be I can do this and I can do that if they want that resource. I'm not going to push myself and be you have to do this, right? Because, maybe they can't make it here at that time, or, there's different kind of obstacles I'm experiencing. But if they're willing to, I will do that tour with them, you know. Someone's coming in to meet with another department, I get to be that person who's just sitting there and advocating for what they need, but also, making that connection so that they're, this is a new space. How many of us, right, first day you're somewhere new, it's I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what's happening. Mm-hmm. It's just someone who can maybe meet you at the door and say, great, I'm here, I've got your back, I will make you feel welcome. Let's go find these resources. Let's go learn about that program you want to know. And really getting to, plug everything else great that Madison Park does.
Wow, I want to say Madison Park Vocational High School is a very special school, that you're able to get that trifecta. Madison Park Vocational High School's had 23 kids up to date graduate with their associate's degree. We have 8 more are on that trajectory, which will be a total of 31. Oh. How do you talk to a parent about this big opportunity here?
Yeah, I think as kind of coming from an immigration background, we are a land of immigrants, but part of that, right, is the people who are coming here want the American dream, whatever that might be for every person, but that is that idea of being able to achieve more, being able to go to college. For so many people, that's a big dream, right? My family grew up in a little ranchito in Mexico. Going to college was not something that they had in mind, right? So being able to give those opportunities to their kids, to their family members, is a big deal. And so it is being able to tell families look, we can offer this. People are going to get excited about that, but then it's okay, how can we make sure that you understand that program? What are the steps to get there with your student? What does it look like for them? And then after they have that, what are their opportunities when they leave Madison Park? But people will get excited about those opportunities. It's just making sure they know how to do that.
Okay. And a little bit of a personal question.
Yeah.
When you're facing your struggles throughout the day, what's one thing that helps you regulate?
Helps me regulate. I love music. I sometimes, in my office, I play different music. I like to we all do it. Sometimes we're scrolling on TikTok. I'm ooh, this is a new artist. I go follow, and later I'm let me go listen. Because sometimes I like listening to new music too. Because I don't know everything yet, so my brain's kind of it has to try to do a few things, and it kind of regulates my emotions. I know that's silly, but I really do like listening to music. Sometimes I just put my phone on speaker, and I'm working, and that is something that calms me.
That's good.
Well, we're really excited. Something I think that's been really special, and Daniellys is in the cosmetology program, is this new campaign we started. And I want to thank the city of Boston, who's allowed us in Madison Park Vocational High School and our media arts program, as well as design and visual and graphic communications, to come together. And we have our students on bus shelters. What do you think that would feel like for a parent to see their child on a bus shelter?
Yeah, I can't imagine, right? You can ask those parents too. People get excited. They're like, look at what my kid's doing. They feel proud. They get to like see that, like sometimes parents can respond in different ways, like, I saw you on the bus. But inside they're screaming. They're like, okay, you couldn't just be happy about that, but they are. And there's probably other parents who are like gonna just tell that to every person they see. Our moms with their like WhatsApp, they're gonna be sending that picture to everyone that they know. It's like, it looks so different for every family, but we know that like being able to have that, like those families are so proud. They're so happy. They get to see their kid doing something, and that also gets to be something we're like, wow, yes, look at what my kid's done. Like, look at how far we get to come, and like that's really beautiful.
Well, we want to thank you for participating in the Voices of Madison Park today. Today you heard from Shakeen Stewart, who is our recruitment / admissions manager, as well as you heard some exciting things about Madison Park Technical Vocational High School, and you heard from our family liaison, Miss Noelle. We have given you insight about Madison Park Technical Vocational High School. We're talking about Boston's premier vocational high school. We've been here since 1975, and we've had so many young people graduate from here. And what does it mean to graduate from Madison Park Technical Vocational High School? It means your career starts here. Daniellys, who is sitting next to me, she's going to graduate next year from cosmetology. And I wanted to shift this a little to say that when she graduates, she's going to graduate with options. The option to continue to go to college, or to go straight to industry, or maybe do both. Go to college, use her cosmetology license, and make some money on the side. Daniellys, I want to ask you this question before we close. How do you feel about your future getting ready to graduate this year from Madison Park Technical Vocational High School?
I feel very like, how do I say this? I'm prepared because I'm trying to set a plan and execute it, because the people that I live with are all about planning and making sure you have the steps to take in order to get to execute that. So I'm really working on, that I'm a mom, so I gotta focus on my child as well. So it's just a lot, but I have a good plan ahead, and I have a backup plan as well. Always have a plan B, just in case.
Just in case. Okay, all right. So I like something she said. Always have a plan B. There's no other school in Boston that will give you that plan B, which we refer to as the trifecta. So we hope to see you again on the Voices of Madison podcast. My name is Brandy Cruthird. You can call me Miss Cruthird or Brandy. And here's my co-host, because it's official. This is my new co-host, Daniellys. Together, we will be bringing you the best, good stories that change young people's lives and impact our community right here on the Voices of Madison. So we hope you enjoyed today's show, and we look forward to seeing you again.